if you guys like this video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you guys are interested in a personal session, check out my website, readingswithbreanne.com. Let's dive into the topic for today. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. I'm looking forward to doing another tarot reading for you guys today. Now, this was a pretty big situation that happened about a week ago when it comes to the blackout in Spain and Portugal. Now, I wanted to do a tarot reading for you guys and dig into this a little bit more because I pulled a little bit offline on this when it did happen, because you know what, you guys, sometimes things do just happen. Sometimes it's just natural stuff that goes down, but a lot of these things that are happening, especially in 2025, are not so natural. Okay, so again, this is an energy report. It's just tarot reading. Please take what resonates, leave what does not. You guys know the drill, but what I got here is this is absolutely manipulated, and we're going to dive into it a little bit deeper. When I pulled the cards here, look at this. I have 8 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, and back of the deck is also 3 of Pentacles. Look at all those Pentacles. This is something that was planned, you guys. They planned and worked on it. But why? Okay, very, very straightforward energy right now with what I'm getting in just these 3 cards, well, 4 cards that I have here. This is planned because they are trying to observe how people react here. They want to see how we're going to adapt. If we're going to adapt, are we going to work together? Pretty much, like, it's almost saying here, are the people going to be resourceful? Or is there going to be fear? Is there going to be a fearful-minded community running around? Or are we going to have more people coming together? So from what I can see, we're going to dig into it a bit deeper. This is a planned event to test the people, okay? So again, we're going to dive into it much deeper here, but again, big message with this energy is it's a psychological almost conditioning, and also a control narrative setup as well, because guess what else is going to come up? All of these initiatives when it comes to surveillance, the smart cities, you know, the 2030 agenda comes up. So let's dive into it a little bit deeper and see what's going on behind the scenes on this large blackout. All right, lovely souls. So let's dive in. Again, let's start with the basic question. Was this something that was manipulated? Can you confirm, Spirit? Am I seeing this correctly? Because I have pulled a few cards, as I mentioned before, offline, and the couple that I just did pull a moment ago as well were very much a planned agenda. So can you confirm? Let's dive into this together, lovely soul. Spirit, can you confirm the overall energy of this large, massive blackout in Spain and Portugal? What can you share with the intentions behind it? Or am I seeing this correctly? What can you share, Spirit? What can you share? All right. Moon right off the bat. King of Swords. Wow. You guys, look at this. Look at these cards. All right, so what's on the back? Justice on the back of the deck here. So let's break it down a little bit, but absolutely what I'm getting, 8 of Swords in the past there, you guys. This is all about an entrapment, keeping people boxed in, trapped, handcuffed. It's the sense of being imprisoned here, okay? So it does show a sense of preset controls, limitations, and really wanting to, like, it's like priming the public through fear, dependency here. That's really what a lot of this comes out of. So we have the moon, which is showing, again, this is illusions, instabilities, you guys. So again, things are not what it seems. Please, please, please check in with yourself. So 10 of Swords is all about endings. It's the ends, right? So I do feel like we're looking at these planned agendas and the cabal. Again, all of these things are coming out full force to wake up the people. And I don't want to get too far off the beaten track here, but there is a really important message for you guys, because I've noticed too, I was trying to find this comment. Somebody commented on one of my videos and they were just very much defeated. Many of us are. Now, they're really kind of, you have all these tarot readers and people talking about the white hats and these white alliances, and you know, a lot of it does sound like, yeah, they're here to save the day. And if I ever come off like that, then that's my apologies. That's really not what my intentions are. I have seen really, really positive energies coming out of the tarot and the collective moving forward. However, there is a but to this, you guys. There is nobody coming to, let's say, save us, okay? These white alliances are working behind the scenes, yes, and a lot of these inorganic factions and, let's say, the draconians and cabals or the deep states, a lot of them have been taken down, and there is definitely the spiritual war happening. But from my perspective and what I see, you guys, it's not that these white alliances or white hats are coming in to save us, you guys. They're here to clear out the debris and to hold kind of a organic timeline for us where we can choose as a collective. Nobody's going to do our inner work for us. So we have to look at our internal state, our internal world, because inner work equals world work, okay? I'm really liking that phrase. So I have to say, we have to make sure we're all working with our inner self, because this is not about just sitting here waiting for some outside force to come in and save the day. If that's what a lot of you guys are thinking, then it's deeply mistaken, because that's not what's happening. So I don't want to be here to give you guys fluff and just say, yes, everything's all rainbows and butterflies. That's not at all my intentions. But I do see a lot of positive things coming out. But what is really, really important is that we all look inside and do our inner work, because when we do, we can ripple that out into the energy, into the collective, into other individuals. And as a collective, we choose to make choices and move into a different direction. So here's like this hidden agenda, this hidden agenda, this hidden agenda. Are we going to comply, or are we going to say, no, we don't want this to be a part of our timeline any longer? The only reason why all of these structures have maintained control for so long is because we have allowed it. We have consented to it on some level. And when we take that power back, guess what? They will fall so fast. And that is what's happening. There's more and more people waking up, and that is so relieving, so relieving. But I do know there's a lot of people that are just exhausted, and it's hard because you see all these awful, atrocious things happening out there in the world, and it's like, where's the justice, right? But we have justice right here. I don't mean to get too off the beaten track here, but this is a really important message. So again, I can only share a perspective with you. I love you guys. I love doing all kinds of different tarot readings and diving into this, but it is so incredibly important to do your inner work, because guess what? There is no white hat alliance that is going to come and save you. There is no government or politician that is going to come in and save you. This matrix was built on outsourcing its power. So we look for guidance, for safety, for security outside of us. But the real truth is, it's within. I mean, it truly is. It's kind of interesting. It's a little upsetting sometimes when you see, for example, let me give you an example. Like I said, love doing all kinds of tarot readings, from conspiracy to true crime to all of that. I enjoy it a lot, and I'll continue to do it. But you can do a video on the deep state and what's happening on the political realm and all of that stuff, and people flock to it. They just want to come, they want to watch, they just love it. And then you do a video on, for example, something that's more heart-centered in terms of teaching you how to surrender, teaching you how to work on your inner self, doing guided meditations, and nobody's really interested. Or I can't say nobody, but there's only going to be this small little portion of people that are going to be guided or interested in actually doing the work. So you guys, every time we wait for somebody else to come in and fix something, then we're feeding that very system that we're trying to dissolve, you guys, okay? This is a really, really powerful message. So thank you for letting me share that perspective. Let me know what you guys think. But again, we really need to look and dissolve our fears, surrender to them, look at reclaiming our sovereignty. We have to do our inner work. Inner work equals world work. I love that. So when we look at kind of just to finish up on that little topic there, I mean, yes, there are white hat alliances and galactic alliances working behind the scenes when it comes to these takedowns and cabals, but they're not here to rescue us, okay? They are, let's say, amplifiers, and they're here to clear the energy so we can then organically choose where we're going to go. Where are we going to move forward? Okay. So again, when we're looking at this particular Spain event, I have tons of manipulation happening here. And the fact that we have the King of Swords right in the situation of this is showing me this is a high level. This is representing like an authority, an institution at a very high level here that is moving forward with a precise controlled event here. So this is like an architect. And this is somebody moving forward behind the scenes with power. This could even represent military or black ops, governments, institutions with that. And look at the outcome out in the cold, you guys. No power, no water, nothing. Like I couldn't even imagine. My heart absolutely goes out to anyone that was in the middle of that. Like imagine, being stuck in, who knows, an elevator for over 10 hours, or I don't know how long exactly the power was out. I read in one article it was about 10 hours or so. And on top of that, there's not even any real answers. I've read a bunch of articles that people don't even, or that the media was saying they don't know what's causing it. Then I read in this article here, it said, let me find it now. There was, so potential culprits brought forward, including the overuse of renewable energy, solar wind, cyber attack, human error, extreme weather, government policies. All right. Here it says. So one of the first claims as to what happened was there was a so-called induced atmospheric vibration. That happens when there are rapid changes in the weather that alter the oscillations in the electrical grid's overhead lines. So kind of interesting to see, a lot of media reports saying they have no idea what's happening. And now these reports, the first claims, are talking about induced atmospheric vibrations that alter like the oscillations in the energetic overhead lines. So as we can see here, this is showing something that was very much calculated, okay? Very much calculated with that King of Swords there. Now, wake-up call. Look at, we have the Judgment. So they're pushing us towards more and more people even waking up. So like smack dab into our face, so we can then choose whether or not we are going to comply. Are we going to accept what they're giving us, or are we going to say, nope, that's not part of our new timeline, and we are going to choose to opt out of that? When the masses start to do that, guess what? There's no control there. So from what I can see, again, cards after cards that I've pulled on this, it points to a very much a planned event. So with that being said, I wanted to look at why this happened in Spain. Let's take a look and see what the cards have to say. All right, so let's see if we can look into the significance of this happening in Spain, because all in all, I get this as a big test to measure how the population reacts here. And this is, I keep seeing, you guys, links to the 2030 agenda. So when we look at it in terms of like the public depending on digital infrastructures and looking at the smart city mechanisms, digital ID integrations, all of that seems to come up with this scenario. But why Spain, Spirit? What can you share with us on why this happened in Spain and Portugal? What can you share with us on the location? All right. So there's a couple, I'll go over what I'm seeing on more of a, let's say, spiritual collective level, because it looks like there's certain, look at the bodies of water here. We have the Six of Swords, which is, you know, kind of coming out of the calm after the storm, but I'm so drawn to the water in the background. And there's a sense of, we have the water, then we have a fiery energy too, something about the grids and the ley lines. And there was an activation happening for those areas. So it looks like, from what I can see, the grid, the Wheel of Fortune, there was a reactivation and they were trying to disrupt it here. So it's almost like they're trying to erase certain memories within. It's like I keep seeing the word crystalline, like the crystalline waters here. So it's almost like they're trying to erase certain memories within the land, and they're trying to replace it with a synthetic fear or a narrative of fear and control here. And then that really leads up to what is actually going on behind the scenes too, because we have Spain as, it's like a testing ground. Look at the Ace of Pentacles. So this is showing integrations when it comes to smart cities, digital IDs, you know, the carbon credit compliance systems. Those are very much linked with this. Look at these initiatives coming in full force. But look at this. Look at what's aspecting this, you guys, okay? Don't take my word for it, but don't buy into these agendas and narratives. Do some digging, do your inner work, because when you do that inner work, you'll start to see through all their crap. There's a big message to say, like, they're trying to see how fast the population could be pushed towards more of accepting central controls when you're looking at certain plans like restricted smart cities and that sort of thing, the digital IDs. So that's what they're pushing here. They're pushing those agendas. So that's what I can see for that question there. You know what's interesting? I'm almost wondering, let me see, am I seeing this correctly, Spirit? Can you confirm? Because it's almost like they're trying to strike right when there's another activation happening. So something's going on in those ley lines and the areas of, you can say, Spain and Portugal there, and they're trying to strike before that next activation happens. Am I seeing that correctly, Spirit? Yeah, there's that Three of Pentacles I had right in the beginning when I said this is planned, you guys. Planned, and then we have, look at that, Four of Wands, which is happy home, happy celebration. They're trying to celebrate at keeping humanity and the consciousness in a restrictive state here. Look at the next card is also that Wheel of Fortune. Interesting, you guys, interesting. So let's keep going and see if we can dig into a couple more questions here. So we looked at the energy of why this happened in Spain. We looked at the energy of if this was potentially natural or manipulated. What else did we want to ask? Let's ask the question then, what does this look like, Spirit? Were they at all successful? I mean, yes, I absolutely see a really unfortunate situation happening there where the power was out for many, many hours And again, my heart goes out to anyone that was stuck in the middle of that. Let me know, do we have anyone here from Spain or Portugal? I do have one lovely lady coming to mind. I'll have to send her a message after this. So let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your perspectives and feedbacks, but I wanted to see what the tarot had to say when it comes to the question, how successful were they? Did they get, or did the people respond the way they were hoping? Let's see. How is the momentum moving forward from this agenda? What can you share? Interesting. And we have like this Knight of Swords, we have a Knight of Wands, so we have this rapid intrusion coming in. 10 of Swords does indicate, yes, there was some chaotic energy. There's a breakdown here. So I do think that they definitely had some success with a temporary disturbance, yes, but looking at this as the outcome too and what's aspecting this, you guys, it's really quite beautiful, because look at this, we have the collapse, all right, but then we have the Ace of Pentacles, and this is in my situation placement, so this is showing me it's like a new energy being planted here. So a lot of people are not buying it, okay? So this is a new foundation being offered as well. It could be an opening, a new grounding energy. New paths are now available because the people decided to disconnect from choosing to dive into this fear-based agenda and control-based agenda here. So this is where the questioning begins, my friends. Questioning begins. People are curious. People are the catalyst. It's like they're starting to realize, you know, you have, I mean, again, a lot of you guys that are watching these kinds of videos, you have some awareness of what's happening. There's, you know, I don't have all the answers, but looking at this, when we connect to this lovely community, you guys are phenomenal. I love you guys. And you guys are questioning things, but there's a lot of, you know, people, as they say, the normies, who just live their life day in, day out, and they don't question anything. Guess what? This is them questioning. These are your usual everyday people that don't usually question stuff waking up. Remember, we had that judgment in that last tarot spread too. This is a wake-up call. So I feel like there are curious people. This backfired because it's making more people, the masses, wake up here. So this is kind of leading me to want to do another video when it comes to like the 2030 agenda. I'm going to leave that for another video, but you know what I'm wondering though too, you guys, if this big Spain blackout, again, from my perspective, I see this being all like a big hidden agenda that has been pushed. And a lot of this is in like a testing phase to condition people and to see where we stand. And I'm wondering if we are going to see the same situation across different places around the globe. That's what I want to ask the tarot, because I feel like this is like a testing ground, Spain specifically. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that, if this is linked to a 2030 agenda, for example, or some kind of a rollout, this is going to potentially happen in other places around the world. And I still remember doing I think somebody commented, I did a UK video a while ago for 2025, and I was seeing, I guess I could say I could see blackouts. I seen large power outages, and I did say to people, not out of fear, but I do recommend people get prepared. I mean, make sure you guys have some stuff on hand, have food on hand, have blankets on hand, just to, better to be safe than sorry. Okay. So again, let's see, I want to ask then the tarot spirit, what can you share about this potential situation happening in multiple places around the world in 2025? Let's look at the energetics behind that for the rest of this year. What can you share, spirit, with additional blackouts across the globe? What can you share with us? There's that Knight of Swords. He has come out in so many of our spreads today. And the Sun. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is crazy. Is this something that's going to happen across the world? Or, you know, not all at once. I don't see that happening. But it wouldn't surprise me if this is something that may potentially be pushed here. Do you know what I see here, you guys? Gaia, the Divine Mother, is upgrading. There are so many energetic upgrades happening right now. Look at this. The Sun, the World, the Three of Cups, the Ace of Cups. And there's an attempt to close down and suppress and put a kind of a mask, a fog. It's kind of that situation of like when somebody is intoxicated, they're not able to think clearly, right? That's what this is showing me too. These blackouts, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if this is already in motion for another place worldwide. And we do have the world coming up here again. So I have to say, I mean, let's see what card that was. Six of Wands. This is looking really positive though. So it's almost like when we look at this blackout in Spain, I feel like when we look at the past, this Four of Swords, it's showing me kind of like a collection of data, right? Collection of data. This is the non-impulsive chaos. So it's almost like a sense of, what else do we have here? Look at that. There's a victory and there's people taking the chains off. And awareness. The Sun is all about illusions, the truth coming to surface. Queen of Swords is also a truth-seeking energy. So I wouldn't be surprised that yes, that there are more attempts to do blackouts across this world. Maybe I'll have to try to do a bit of a deep dive when I do another video on maybe a 2030 agenda to see if we can pinpoint in the months ahead, like where these potential blackouts may be. But I have to say, like, these are only gonna push people to come together even more, and they're coming together with clarity here, truth, communities. Like I really like the energy coming out of this. So again, through these tough times is where a lot of us really do wake up and come together. Yes, there's that Knight of Wands again. So back of the deck is the Chariot. So overall, to recap, I do have to say, I do think that there could be, with the Seven of Cups lurking in the background, worldwide or regions throughout the world that will potentially experience more blackouts. But I have to say, when I see these Three of Cups aspecting the world and the Ace of Cups as the outcome, you guys, this is all about celebrating the resistance, and unity is going to rise above it. So yes, I really like this. So that's what I have for you there, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Lots of love to you guys. And again, I mean, not to put any fear out there, but you know, you can't, it's better safe than sorry. You know, if you guys can put some stuff aside, some supplies aside. You know what? Let me pull some final cards and see what the advice is from the tarot. What can you share, Spirit, when we're looking at this whole Spain, Portugal blackout situation? What can you share with us, Spirit, in terms of if there are more potential blackouts throughout different regions and the world? What's your advice for the collective? What's your advice for us? Is it in our highest good to not prepare out of fear, but just to be prepared? I do have a yes for that, but let's keep going. What advice do you have for us, Spirit? There's the same card. There's that Knight of Swords. So there are certain ops and institutions there that are working on these hidden agendas. All right. Let's pull a couple more. All right. So what I get, so Ace of Wands, it did come out again, and this is taking action now, okay? I'm not saying this at all out of fear. This is taking inspired action, creating a plan, but this isn't like a let's just wait and see what happens. This is like, hey, make sure you have a plan. If something does come up and there is a power outage in your area, I mean, if you have no power, no water, no food, because there's a big energy of staying, like bunkering down, staying kaput here. So we'll get into that in a moment. But again, make a plan and start now. All right. From a place of empowerment. Knight of Swords, again, when I see that, this could be the logical, practical side, right? So moving forward, making a plan to gather your resources, whether this is food, water, make sure you guys have some necessities. And when I see that, this is more than just food and water. This is having actual resources, maybe some flashlights, maybe some tools, maybe cooking supplies that involve like propane. Think of like maybe a little barbecue or something of that matter. So let's look at resources and gathering items that don't involve, let's say, electricity. So more of the off-grid energy here. I think there's like lots of solar power charging tools and stuff you can get. So again, moving forward, we have justice, you guys. This is staying in alignment, okay? That's that Libra. It's balancing the scales. So it's saying to not spiral into a state of chaos and fear, because that's the whole point of these blackouts. Is they're trying to get as many people scared and in fear. Like, look at what happened with COVID, the CV19. I guess I have to be careful with what I say, but that situation, okay? So keep yourself in alignment and grounded. That's what the justice is about, okay? Staying balanced. Make choices that are in harmony with your higher self here, okay? Queen of Pentacles, staying grounded yet again, all right? Very important. So this is creating a grounded environment for yourself and for your family here. And this could also represent actual resources as well. Pentacles is very much resources, like earthly resources. So this could yet again. So it is coming up, but you know what I see really strongly here is, as I said earlier, there's a message for if you guys are experiencing a massive blackout in your area, being prepared is very important. But we also have the Eight of Cups and the Four of Swords. And I see this as gathering your resources and, let's say, like I said, like hunkering down in your environment here. Because when we're looking at these as well, it's about holding your own frequency field without the external chaos. And you know, we've seen how crazy it can get when stuff like this happens. So it is really important to be prepared, yes, on a resource level with your food, your blankets, your flashlights. And I see this as like, okay, we have Eight of Cups, Four of Swords, and I feel like with the Queen of Pentacles, this is indicating obtaining resources that can assist you with off-grid living. That's what I keep getting here too. But all in all, it's like having yourself in your inner sanctuary becomes the stabilizing mode. Remember, justice right in the middle. So this is balancing the scales and not feeding into this fearful narrative. So this is not something that would last forever, you guys, but be prepared. I mean, as much as possible, I'm not saying, you know, I know we all can't afford to go and buy thousands of dollars worth of equipment and all that, but just even making sure you have some necessities like extra food, extra water, you know, whatever it is you can obtain. And that's why this is, I think, so important here, because this is about starting now, okay? Just getting a little bit here and there, and then you don't end up with that big, you know, crazy, you know, situation. I don't know if this was all over the world, but I know out here in Canada, when we had CV-19, it was toilet paper. It was the most bizarre thing. You could not find toilet paper anywhere. People were mass buying that. So just goes to show, like, you know, if you can prepare yourself now, why not, right? So again, I'm not trying to, you know, say this to put any fear out there, but it does look like there could be potentially more blackouts and more disruptions, and especially in the rest of 2025 here. So I think I may look at doing another video on that based off of this reading. So we'll see kind of what else I can tune into. Maybe we'll bring the crystal ball in and see if I can try to pinpoint any specific regions or anything for you guys. But that's what I have for you guys. As always, thank you so much for joining me. So much love, so much light, and until next time, beautiful souls, bye for now.